Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 32, and that of course being none other than Zynara, the striped Prowler. So welcome back guys to the next book of Beast Quest as we press along. It's been a while since we've done these, I know. I've just finished my review of my recording of Dolris, so I'm now on Zynara. Overall, this book was alright. There was some issues with the book. It's not as good as Dolris due to those inconsistencies, I would say. I know Jack has a bit more praise to it regardless. Maybe he could see where I'm coming from regardless, because we'll get into those. I just have to get my notes now. There we go. So, we've got my notes ready. So, like always, guys, in-depth story analysis and my overall thoughts on this epic adventure. So, make sure you've read this book before watching this review, unless you don't care for spoilers. But that being said, let's get into Zynara. So, we start off with Dolris, the Dolris attack again, this time from Nolan's perspective. Nolan and Myandra escape, but Nolan loses and is left with Marilla, his animal psychic, they'll get into. Nolan awoke, and Marilla helped assure they reached the former camping spot, and they found a carving of Zynara, the beast, could be nearby. They found there's a little camping site where all the goons of Zuba were preparing, but instead they found this little carving of Zynara, so there's foreshadowing there. Nolan and Marilla studied some cart wreckage and find out that the beast was possibly slave to do Zuba's bidding, but Zynara rebelled, and she could have let her loose, and the pirates secured them. So, yeah, as the story progresses, though, it seems to be more the case of Zuba had to pull the cart, and of course Zynara didn't seem to like that, and then she kind of rebelled, and then eventually Zuba's forces would capture her and then put her somewhere, and that will be later revealed, so we got our answer to that. Nolan loses to the pirates, and they feed him to Zynara. We see the evil lion beast and his impending fate. So, I think Zynara might be a girl, though. I think they mentioned the gender, but I'll just say she for the sake of it. If it is a he, feel free to correct me, because I can't be wrong with these things. But for now, I'll stick with she, due to the name. And I did say lion beast in my notes because I'll save my issues with Zynara at the end when I get to the character analysis, probably. But I got the impression of a lion. But as we go along with that it's still supposed to be a feminine beast. So, yeah, the cover's kind of a wishy-washy thing there, and it gets worse as it goes, But anyway, though, of course, Nolan's supposed to be fed to this creature. Nolan and everyone ran in terror as the chain that holds Zynara breaks, and Zynara pursues Nolan. We learn that she has a scaly thick hide, and after escaping, they decide to lure her away from the forest. They did so, and Zynara showed up again. They battled, but allying each other. They saw the weak spot was her underbelly, and they were concerned about that. They led her to a shipwreck, they planned this plan going on. The trap is sprung, and Zynara is pushed into the water because they use the ship wreckage, and they push it down on her, and it uses it it's like some sort of anchor trap. They lure her into this ship wreckage, and then they push that wreckage off into the water, and that's how she gets plunged down. But as she gets pushed into the water, she's revealed to be a cat, and pirate tells about the fleet. And a pirate tells about the fleet and Zuba's location, though Nolan wants to find his allies because they learn more about Zuba, about who she is about, but he wants to rescue his friends first and hope that they're all doing well. So character-wise, Nolan, Marilla, and Zynara. So Nolan is alright, he does a stable job, he's a bit more, I would say, insecure compared to Caddy, that's expected though, but it does serve a good purpose. Marilla is there to back him up like that, and then of course we get to Zynara, and the issue with Zynara is, and as you can tell, the intention of this beast was supposed to be a feline, as the story progresses, and we learn that of course it also has scales on it. It's supposed to have scales, so what I'm guessing was the intention was it was supposed to be a cat with scales on it, which would have been a pretty cool design. I would like to see that with some sort of lion-like head in the proportions of how that was going, but somewhere down the road they got it mixed up, and it kind of looks more like a canine or like a dog creature with the snout there and the fur. They do mention the creature has fur in this description, but when they show pictures of it, it's kind of wishy-washy because they're trying to have fur and they're trying to have scales. I would have preferred if they just kept to the scales personally, and that's just me. And the cover really needed fixing along. They should have just gone for one of the illustrations in the book instead of just the design we got to, because it doesn't really have those qualities. On the qualities in the front, you do see the spikes, but the gills on its back aren't there. It doesn't have that furry design. So the fact that you have that inconsistency does kind of weaken it a bit. Zynara is, of course, bloodlust, hungry. She wants revenge. She wasn't like the way she was treated. That's the impression I got. So far she does seem the most angry of the beasts. This time it's understandable. Whereas at least Dolorous was... I got the impression Dolorous was proud of what he was doing, even though he was angry doing it. So, but I guess I think there was more interest to me in Dolorous as a character from what we got. Whereas I know it's just one of those characters that it was victimized, and it's understandable where it came from, but it's nothing new. We've had beasts who want revenge for how they were treated before. So, it's not really a big surprise. But I still find it enjoyable. It's fine. So overall, that's our second review of Muse Quest Series 32 with Zynara. I'm looking forward to how the second half of this series comes along, so we'll see how we go. And I'll see you guys in the next video as we progress on to that book. That being said though, I'm going to do my Q&A video now and get that released, and then we'll be all caught up. So see you then.